dropping bombs all on your head. Boom, 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 boom. I'm coming to you from the subject, exhaust all your options. Exhaust all your options. See, oftentimes in life, we'll try to achieve something, we'll try to accomplish something, and we'll only try one avenue, one way. And oftentimes, if you do not succeed in that avenue, that way that you're trying, you quit, you give up. You know what, maybe God don't want me to have this. Maybe God don't want this for me. I remember recently reading a book about S.B. Fuller. Now, maybe many of you haven't heard of him because this is some time back. And so he was one of the first African American millionaires in the cosmetic business, right? And the thing about him was he did not take no for an answer. And he grew up post-slavery, right after slavery. And his mother was wiping floors and she said to him, "It is not God's will for man to be poor. It's not God's will for us to be poor." And he said he never forgot that as a kid. It was like engraved in his mind. And that's another message all by itself, that as a parent, you could speak life or death into your children. You could tell them that they're going to be successful, they're going to be great, and they'll believe your words. Just like you tell them, you just like your father. He wasn't nothing, you ain't going to be nothing. They're good for nothing. And that sticks with them. And they, because the formative years are from 0 to 5, 6 years old. So that thing is sticking in their mind everywhere that they go. They could be 100 miles from you, but they still thinking, my father wasn't nothing, I ain't going to be nothing, unless they get their mind renewed. Because your whole life is going to stem from your thinking. And so she kept telling him that. Only reason why we're not rich right now, only reason why we're not successful right now is because your father never decided to be. Right? And so here's the thing, right? That's and I know some people are like, well, why didn't she decide to be? I mean, during that time, same opportunities were not available for women. During that time, I'm talking about right after post-slavery, okay? So he always took that to heart, and as he got older, he worked various jobs until he came across an opportunity to buy soap, and then he was selling soap door to door while working a full-time job. So he was selling soap part-time door to door while he built up enough clientele so he started having some employees under him, but he still kept his job working part-time selling soap door to door. Opportunity came along with a company that he was buying the soap from, said, you know what, we're gonna sell this place, but we need $100,000 if you want to buy it by such and such time. Now at the time he only had $20,000. That means he needed to raise $80,000 in, like, I think it was 2 months or something like that. He said he prayed about it. He said he asked God for direction. He asked God for help. He went to every business person that he knew. He asked them for a loan. He got up to $90,000 that he had. But now at this point in time, he had 2 more days left. Remember I said to you, exhaust all your options. He went back to God again and said, Lord, please show me, who do I need to go to? Help me to get the money so I can buy this business. So he said he was driving up and down the street, circling around the blocks, going around the corner, and it was nighttime, and one light was on to a construction company, right? The person who owned the company was a contractor. So he said, whoa, this must be it. So he goes in there. But what most people gonna do? I'm not going in and asking for no money. I'm not gonna do that. No, they're gonna say no anyway. So you didn't exhaust all your options. So you lose out on the chance of buying a business that's gonna change your life and your whole family's life for generations to come. So anyway, he goes there, makes the deal with the construction worker, say, listen, I'll pay you such and such interest on the money that you lend me. So every person that he borrowed the money from, he was going to pay them back with interest. So they made money on the money that they lent him, but at the same time, he got the $100,000 up just in time to fulfill the deal on the business. Now, mind you, he would have lost all the money that he gave to them because he had to give them a deposit. He gave them the deposit that he had. He would have lost all of his money if he did not come up with the full $100,000 by the end of the 2 months. And because he trusted God, because he stepped out in faith, because he exhausted all options, boom, that's a bomb going off. He was able to acquire that soap business and begin to employ other people and begin to expand it. Then he bought a newspaper company. Then he bought cosmetic companies. He was able to expand it just from that one deal. But that one deal took him exhausting his options, took him acting by faith, took him trusting in God, took him trusting in himself, took him talking to people and communicating and not accepting no for an answer and knocking on doors 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 until the door opened. And I don't know about you, and I don't know who I'm talking to right now, but you got to knock on some doors. You got to knock until the doors open. You got to kick the doors in. Because if you sit down and keep waiting, nothing is going to happen. You got to get so fired up and so fed up. And I hope you feel it when something don't go right. I remember when I lost my car and they repoed it, I had to give it back. I cried, but I wanted to feel the pain when it happened. Because I said, you know what, this pain that I feel, I would never feel it again. When I had to live in the basement with my wife and 3 kids in a 1-bedroom basement in my in-laws' house for like 6 to 8 months. Because when I was starting a church and it didn't prosper the way that I wanted to, I had to move back from Atlanta, back to New York and start all over again. But you know what? I had to feel that pain. Because guess what? It made me who I am today. The person who's not afraid to take risks, the person who knocks on the doors, the person who will be persistent until things begin to open up for me the way that I wanted it to. And that's how I was able to come in and start a successful daycare business, not once, but twice. And it's prospered and grown, right, each and every year, which allowed me to buy other investments and other businesses and move into a beautiful home, which we live in today. And so there's nothing that's impossible when you take God's principles and laws and apply it to your life. But I want you to exhaust all options. Don't sit down and be satisfied with where you are, right? When you can go so much higher, when you can do so much more. Because it's not just you that's going to benefit. It's the people that's connected to you. It's the children that have not been born yet. It's the grandkids that's not even here yet. And you got to see that and you got to think that way. I remember when I was growing up, I would think to myself, dang, my father's so selfish that he ain't set anything up for me, right? On my brothers and sisters. So we're growing up and you're trying to find your way. You're trying to find your way. You're trying to get a few dollars. And I said, you know what? I'm never going to do that to my children. I'm going to set them up where generations after I leave this place is going to be set up and they're going to remember me, that I loved them enough, that I was able to sacrifice, that I was able to pay the cost to be the boss, that I was able to put myself in a position through faith in God, through actions, through my works, so that they can now live a life that few people ever live. I pray this message inspired you, encouraged you to take it by force and exhaust every option. This is your man, Mike Bowens, and I'm signing off until next time, saying be blessed.